Welcome back to A&A. Today we've got something a little bit different. This is my office, and as you can see, it's quite junked up. Um, the only way to heat and cool in my office here, I have a small window unit for cooling. I have a couple electric space heaters for heating. Um, and when it gets pretty cold, those little space heaters they struggle a little bit. So what I'm doing today is I have purchased a mini split uh, HVAC unit, and this is the wall I want to mount it on. Now, with the mini split, you have an indoor unit and an outdoor part. Uh, the indoor part mounts to uh, the surface of a wall, and then you cut a hole in the wall, and the lines run out to uh, the outside condensing unit. Which sits on the ground, and it's equally as junked up out there. So I got to do some uh, cleaning up first and make some room where we can get in here. But today I want to install a mini split AC and heating unit. So if you've never done that, you might want to take a look, because I am quite sure you'll see some things that I do wrong that you might want to watch out for. So let's get started. So first off, you're going to get the unit in two boxes. This appears to be the inside unit that hangs on the wall, and this will be your outdoor condensing unit. So let's just open the boxes up and see what we get. This came in about a week or so ago, so it's had plenty of time to get good and dusty. Immediately I see the template that we're going to use. Shows us, hole locations and all that good stuff. So we'll be using that to locate our holes on the wall. Inside is that unit. Got an instruction manual, some screws, remote control, and then the unit itself. So we'll lay this right here. Let's see about the other box. So I got some hoses, plasticine, which I'm guessing that's going to be like mastic. Like the tape. Those are I'm sure where your hoses go through the wall. It helps to seal it up. And then that'll be the condensing unit that sits outside. All right, so we're going to get the instruction book out, and then we're going to see. Okay, that's the Wi-Fi instruction manual. We're not quite ready for that yet. This will be the instruction manual. So, yeah, we'll study this for a minute. We'll clean out around where we're going to install it, both inside and outside. And once I get to putting the template up and how to mark it and what we're going to do, I'll get you back. Okay, so like most males, I only moved what I absolutely had to. I'm going to take this window unit out for possible reuse on another project one day. So what I'm running into is this is just a portable building. It's old, but it's just a portable building. So I'm not sure that 16-inch centers on the wall studs were held. I'm pretty sure they weren't. Anyway, so the template here, this whole piece of cardboard is the size of the indoor unit, and so it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screw holes marked. So looking at where my studs are, I've got one here on the edge of the window and one here just past the center of the window. And then of course the other studs over here on the other edge of the window. And if I put it either way, I'm going to be between the studs. So, and you don't want to put one side of the unit into a solid stud and the other side is in basically nothing, because this is 1/4 inch Luan. So it's not going to hold anything. So what I do have is I have a piece of 3/4 inch plywood left over from another project. And what I believe I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a piece the same size as this cardboard here, and I'm going to secure the 3.5 inch plywood to the studs, and then I'm going to secure my backing plate to the 3/4 inch plywood, which is what the indoor unit will hang from. Now keep in mind, you're going to have to drill 2 3/4 inch hole right here is where your lines will go from the indoor unit to the outdoor condensing unit. So you want to make sure that that's not located where a stud is, or you'll have problems drilling that hole. So I'm going to go outside of that stud, and I don't want the lines to hang like right in front of my window. They can hang off to the side, and seeing as how the hole is over here on this side, I'm moving the unit so that it's basically like this. It is not going to be centered above the window because of the stud spacing mainly, and because you don't want your hole landing on a stud. So first I'm going to cut the 3/4 inch plywood out. Then I'm going to basically attach this to the 3/4 inch plywood. After I get the plywood mounted to the wall, we'll pre-drill some holes for those screws, and then we'll drill our big hole for the lines. Now the only measurement as far as what I'm concerned with in this room is the height from the floor, and it's at 8 foot. So our condensing unit is going to be sitting outside, which is at least a foot below this floor, and so this will be very close to that. Not going to measure it exactly. If you're smart, which apparently I wasn't, you go ahead and start these screws in the plywood so you wouldn't have to try to do the balancing act. And when the screw gets flush with the surface of your wood, stop. It doesn't do any good to just sink it all the way down through your wood. I used to do that too. It doesn't make it stronger, it makes it weaker. So anyway, enough of that. And I hit it, so great. Again, stop when you're flush. I'm gonna put 2 more here, 2 more here, and that'll be the end of that. All right, so word of caution. The instructions do not mention the template. The instructions say to, what did I do with it? The instructions say to remove the mounting plate from the back of the indoor unit. So I did that, and I just, since the template wasn't mentioned in the instructions, I just wanted to double check those holes, and it's a good thing I did, because if you match the holes up that's on the plate to the template, these over here do not match up exactly. And it's far enough off to where I took a magic marker and I marked from the plate to the template myself. And the only reason I'm doing all of that is because I'm just going to mark where all of those are with a really small drill bit. The screws I'm using is actually a sheet metal screw for wall panels, but I don't know if you can see that, but this, where the unit actually hangs and attaches, there's an offset in here, and it gives you plenty of room for a screw head. So this should work great. They're self drilling screws. They're going to work fine, but this is the first one I've done. I'm just trying to be extra cautious. I'm going to drill a little pilot hole in each one that I've marked, and I'll get rid of the template. I'll put this up there, make sure we're still good and level and all that good stuff, and then we'll actually mount this permanently to the board I've got up there. Now they only sent 6 screws to attach this with, 3 on this side, 3 on this side. There's plenty of holes in the plate for additional screws, so I'm going to end up putting 12, probably being overcautious, but that assures that I don't have to worry anything at all about this not being stable. Like I did before, I'm going to put a screw in there to hold it, and then we can worry about final placement. Yeah, have to change my bit. Let's just double check our level. Make sure we're not getting too far off here. I can actually stand to come down on this side a little bit, so I'm going to bring it down. We're a tad bit off. So, let me take this one out. Let's just bring her down some. Just a touch. That looks really good. So, and all but my top hole seems to be still lined up. So, let's go ahead and put one in the bottom here. Go ahead and squeeze them down. All right, now we'll just start popping screws in. Now, I did put way more screws than what they showed putting in it, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of vibration from this thing, and these walls are thin, and anything I can do to not have extra things vibrating, anything I can do So anything I can do to cut down on the vibration, um, that'll go a long way. So the only thing we got left to do now is to drill the big hole, 2.76 inches. That'll be 2 3/4. I don't know what I have as far as hole saws. So let me go look. Now, problem is I don't have a 2 3/4 inch hole saw. Thanks, Larry. Need to mark the outside edges of our 2 3/4 inch hole, so we need to know how bad to hack this thing up. Now, probably should have told you this in the beginning when I started this, but I am not an air conditioning guy. I'm really not much of anything. So what you see here, if you repeat it, it's at your own risk. So I think I'm gonna do the old drill a bunch of holes trick and then connect them, maybe with a jigsaw or something. I don't know. Seems to be a good plan. Let's do that. Man, should have built a bigger hole. So now I can't see, so I'm gonna have to go get the ladder because I can't see where my hole or my line is. Get back in there. Yeah, buddy. All right. I'm gonna go outside now, and I'm gonna. The outside panels of this thing are just thin aluminum metal panels, like the old portable buildings. So, just gonna go out there and trim up that hole. Okay, I have located the sleeve. And these little covers. There's lines on the sleeve, so I'm anticipating that ever how much too long it is, we can trim it. So let's just let me get it outside. Let me go put this cover on, and let's see how much we'll have to trim off the sleeve. All right, so that sleeve is it's kind of brittle, so it didn't fare too well. Anyhow, let me go ahead and get this put back up there and secure the sleeve and the flanges, and then we'll move forward with installation. Now I'm going to put a couple of little small screws in this, into the wood to hold that in place. Okay, also a little tip, this sleeve needs to be at a very slight angle draining down towards the ground, because your little drain hose coming out of this unit right here needs to drain. It needs to a downslope, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that for right now. Should be fine. This room is just my office, and it's out in my shop, so it's not like this is gonna need to be aesthetically pleasing, as evidenced by the weather-worn 3/4 inch plywood that's been laying behind the shop for a while. Word of caution. All right, got my pipes bent the way I want them to be. This insulation is wanting to give me a little trouble, so I'm just going to type it up real good on the end. And maybe one more down here. If you got a ceiling fan on in your room, be careful. Instructions make it look so easy. Okay. Alright, that end is hooked. I'm not sure about this end. As usual, I got way too carried away. I had my high pressure line and my low pressure line through the hole. What I didn't have was the condensation drain hose, or I never connected the electrical. So let's do this electrical thing. This is the front of the unit. Your front cover, just open it up. This is your electrical panel right here. Let's go ahead and take that off. All right, so let's lay that right there. All right, so it comes with power cable. That looks like it got caught in the mousetrap. All right, we have a green, which is always your ground. You have, oh, this is cool. So let me get you in here so you can see this. One, two, three, and then I guess that's, well, that would be your ground right there then. So cable comes, black is number 3, white is number 2, yellow is number 1, and that's the ground. So all we're gonna do is connect these, and we gotta run it out the back some way, because it has to go out that wall sleeve with the rest of the piping. There. Let's put our cover back on. All right, we can close this front cover now. All right, now I got what I need to do. I had put some painter's tape on this. What I need to do is wrap all of this together, maybe with just some painter's tape, because it's all got to go through that hole together. All right, you guys have a prime view just in case I bust it. So send all this extra power cord through there first. I know some of you are watching this going, that idiot, he should have done this or he should have done that. You're exactly right. I'm an idiot. All right. Now, we should be able to, it should go by itself, and then this will go with it, hopefully, without much trouble. All right, now, go back to having to hook it up top. Get up on the stool here. It should move over a little bit. There you go. She should snap now. Come back loose up top. Huh? Ah, there we go. Perfect. Ah. Space cake. Phew. What do you say we go outside and take a look at that outside unit? So now we're on the outside of the unit. Two covers you have to take off. This is for your electrical connections. The top one is. The bottom one is for your pressure lines, your coolant lines. Now, I did read where you're going to have to pull a vacuum on this, and that's where I may have to get some assistance because I have a vacuum pump, but it's for automotive air conditioners, and I don't know if I have the fittings. Well, I don't have any fittings to adapt it to this. So I may have to call my friend, the HVAC guy. Now, another thing that is not in the instructions is where is the connection to plug it in the wall? Because this is supposed to be the 110 volt version as opposed to the 220. And nowhere in the instructions does it say this is where you connect the cable, because the only wire we have is the one cable that's going to go from the indoor unit to this outdoor unit. But there's also two wire hold downs. So it's as if, okay, this wire goes in this hold down and connects to those, or there will be another wire that also is on these lugs that comes down and it'll have a plug on it. That is nowhere in the instructions. But there again, we did buy the Chinese version, and I say it's the Chinese version because
it's from China.
So, I'm going to go ahead and connect these lines just like the instruction shows. And I'm going to go ahead and connect this wire, but I'm going to leave these covers off. Number one, my HVAC friend, he'll need to see what's going on down here. And then I will also need to get his opinion on what size cable I need. I have enough of this wire. I mean, I could cut this wire right here, and use the other half of it to go straight through this wall, which is where the outlet is. All right, so I contacted the HVAC expert. His name is Philip. So these units do come already charged. The idea is this is a service port, and then if you take this cap off and take this cap off, these are how you open and close the valves. This is your low pressure valve. This is your high pressure valve. So on your low pressure valve, you've got the service port. So what my buddy said, you don't have to pull a vacuum on them. But he said it's always better if you do. It gets what little moisture, out of the line and everything. Because that's a pretty long line, and I've got it just snaked up the wall, and I'm going to make that look a little bit better. I've always heard you're not supposed to keep them coiled up, so I'll end up attaching that to the wall as best I can. But he's on his way, and he's going to go ahead and pull a vacuum on this for me. In the meantime, I'm going to tighten these connections, these two and those two up there, because they're just finger tight right now. And the hoses, the lines that you get, of course, they're already insulated, but one is smaller than the other, and they're flare type fittings, compression. I guess you call them compression fittings, flare fitting, whatever. Right now they're just finger tight, so I got to tighten those. And on the electrical, all right, so my instructions did not say, but now he has installed many of these. So after I connect my wire from the indoor unit, you know, to these, and it'll be here. You got 2 hold downs. All right, so that'll give you a clue. So your wire from your indoor unit goes on one. Well, I have this is a universal dishwasher power cord. Come from Lowe's. I don't know, many years ago. It's been on the shelf forever, but I finally found a use for it. It's got a regular plug on one end. You have a green, a black, and a white. Green is going to be your ground wire. It goes to your grounding screw right here. White is your neutral wire. It will go on N. Black is your hot wire, and it will go on L. So the directions did not say, and this thing did not come with another cord. I guess that's just, you know, what you get when you buy the cheapest thing that's out there. So just remember, white is your neutral for N. Black is your hot or your live, L. And green is always your ground. That goes on your grounding lug, usually a green screw. And then this will be in the other hold down. Now, seeing as how the outlet is right on the other side of this wall, I'm gonna drill me another hole, and then run this through the wall, and come on out here. So all I have is a nice little round hole. Don't have to worry too much about that. All right, I went ahead and tightened the 4 fittings, 1, 2, and then the 2 up top. Connected, this is the cable from the indoor unit. We can see. Connected those. So I took my universal dishwasher cord, and don't forget to run it through your cover, because I told you not to forget and I forgot. All right, so I ran this up here. Your white is always your neutral. L is for your live wire, hot wire, which will be your black. And then the green is on the green ground. Well, my HVAC guy came and pulled the vacuum on it and made sure we didn't have any leaks. Got it set on 61, and it's getting cold in here. And you can't really hear it running. You can hear the air, you know, rushing through it, barely. You cannot hear the unit running. It's amazing to me. Let me show you the outside unit. It's running. I can barely hear it running. He said there was very little moisture in the lines. Probably didn't have to pull the vacuum on it, but that way you can check for leaks in your connections. Make sure your connections are tight. That's just precautionary. You'd hate to start it operating, lose all your Freon because you had a leak. Them big loops I had up top, I kind of rolled them down, brought them down to the bottom here, make it a little tighter. But anyway, the installation is complete, and she is getting cold in there. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So that's the mini split installation complete. If you're thinking about getting a mini split, I definitely recommend it. This was wasn't quite $500. I got it on Amazon. And I'll even show you the tag on it. I can't even remember what the brand name was. Ace Cool. Ace Cool. It's a 9,000 BTU cooling, 10,000 BTU heat. Alright, so yeah, if you're thinking about doing a mini split, I definitely recommend it. I'll be removing that window unit out of there because, I mean, there's practically no sound other than the air that's rushing through the vents. Can't help but be pleasantly surprised by that. So anyway, I'll take that window unit out and clean the window up. And I need to clean up behind the shop so the view won't be so terrible. Alright, that's gonna be it. I just gotta do a little cleaning up and straightening up in here and get things back to, I guess, normal, you could say. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you saw something you could use. Maybe this has helped you make a decision on whether or not you're going to get the mini split. Whatever the reason, hopefully you got a little entertainment out of it. Take care of yourself. Subscribe if you haven't, please. And always remember, be kind to one another, please. See you next time.